Welcome back to Around the Block Volleyball. The NCAA Volleyball Committee just released their top 16 seeds if the national tournament happened today. And let's just say, it was quite controversial.
Yeah.
But this week we're going to break it down, and in the end we're going to share what we thought about what the rankings should have been instead. So let's just hop right into it with, let's start off with the two biggest fan bases and one of the more controversial picks. We got Nebraska at 1 and then Texas at 2.
Yeah. To me, I think that it made sense in my mind because to me, a lot of it for how I viewed it was what I'm seeing on the court.
Yeah.
But we know that the way that they do this ranking, a lot of it is the KPI and the RPI, so it's a lot of strength of schedule, who you played.
Yeah, there's supposed
like
to be a lot of statistics or certain statistics going into it.
Yeah.
And that's why it did become controversial because I think by those metrics, definitely the RPI, the public RPI, Texas is on top.
Yeah, it favors them for sure.
Yeah, so it favors them. So that's why it gets a little bit weird where it kind of just ended up being probably the committee has their own personal biases the same way that we do.
Yeah.
Where they ended up putting Nebraska 1 and then Texas 2.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. There's definitely some politics that were going on as we will see going through the top 16 that they picked. That there's definitely going to be some weird stuff about conferences maybe that they still want to make sure that they got certain conferences in or...
Yeah, to certain numbers of each conference in the rankings. So it's a little weird, but honestly, I kind of agree with the eye test part where you just end up putting Nebraska at 1, Texas at 2. But also, it doesn't really matter because the 1-2 seeds are just on the separate sides of the bracket.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, these two teams are just so far above the other teams right now that it's realistically, when you're trying to win the championship, it should be just these two teams in the end. We have them 1 and 2 by far above the others.
Yeah, they're definitely the top. It's the 1 and 2, and then after that, it's a tier below.
These two shouldn't matter too much. I guess you can talk about, easier road to the finals, but you're going to have to beat these teams anyways to get there, so not too big of a deal. But let's move on just to these next two, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, that's another controversial swap, I think, compared to what everyone else thinks.
Yeah, and I think this is the tier right below them.
Yeah. So next at 3, we had Pittsburgh, and at 4, we had Kentucky.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. Again, I knew there were some big games that Pitt played that I think helped them out. Yeah. And strength of the teams that they're probably playing helps them out as well.
Yeah.
Versus compared to the SEC for Kentucky. I still don't agree with it personally. Yeah. I thought it was very interesting that that's how it was. Do we know about the RPI? Did it actually favor Pitt here?
The RPI, it does favor Pitt. It actually favors Pitt, then SMU, then Kentucky.
I guess maybe that's where they have Pitt at 3 then. I guess.
It seems a little bit weird to me. I mean, we agree that the ACC is a really good conference. For sure. So it should be weighted a little bit towards them in that sort of way, I guess. But it's just weird looking at kind of the wins and losses that each of the team had where I don't feel that confident about Pittsburgh being above Kentucky.
Yeah.
And then also there's the eye test always that we say. Pittsburgh, I mean, their big losses this season, they lost to Nebraska, they lost to Florida, they lost to Miami, and the Miami one is pretty recent, so I'm not sure why it didn't get accounted in, even though Miami is a ranked level team.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely in the rankings, and then honestly, for some people, they could have been in the top 16.
And then the matchup, I guess, would be Kentucky's losses being to Nebraska, then also to Pitt, the Pitt one being pretty early in the season, I'm also not sure how they want to weigh
those preseason first games.
Or the time, how long ago it was, because in the end that match was over a month ago.
Yeah, and these teams are very different now.
It's a little weird. I mean, Pitt low-key does look a little bit better now than they did back then.
Yeah. These teams have both improved and they look a little different. So
so
it's a little weird to weigh those.
Yeah, it's weird on how to weigh it. I guess looking at at least the matchups, it's okay. Pittsburgh has the direct win over Kentucky, but otherwise it's it feels like Kentucky's the stronger team.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I guess you could say Pitt has the best player amongst the two teams.
Yeah.
But
right after that, 2 and 3 are on Kentucky.
Yeah, and then even then it might even go.
It could be more. Yeah,
it's like,
it could be more.
It's very mixed after that. I don't know how to feel about it. I think if that was the reasoning that they want to give, and then also the RPI.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, like to me, I think the RPI weighed it for sure. Yeah. Where Kentucky fell to 5, and then Pitt was still at 3.
I'm like skeptical of the way that the RPI is just done.
Yeah, hey, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, even going a little bit further, I feel like it sometimes skews a little heavy to certain conferences where I don't necessarily agree. I mean, I'll just say it. I think it low-key skews the Big Ten kind of heavy. It feels like it. It feels like it makes them a little bit better than I think that they should be, even though they don't show up for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So there's some teams where I'm like, I don't know why they're on the list unless it's just, again, politics. But
I really think that weighs into it.
Yeah.
But we're never really going to know that part, though.
Yeah. The Pitt Kentucky one, that was a big one of debate.
Yeah, it's close. And we don't necessarily agree with it, but that's what they had.
But I can, this one is one where I can be sure. You have your outs, you have your reasons why you want to do it. It's okay.
I guess.
It's fine. They have more logic behind this one than I think some of the other ones.
I mean, if we're going that route, for sure.
Yeah. This one, there's okay, I can see why, but other ones, it's just how.
Yeah. But you know what, to wrap it up, I think we can both agree that we still think that Kentucky should be ranked at 3 here.
Yeah.
Over Pitt.
Even though Olivia Babcock is
she's going insane.
Yeah, looking like she wants to win another National Player of the Year, and she might just do it.
She could, honestly.
I wouldn't put it past her.
Yeah. But I think we're still looking at Kentucky here.
Yeah. But now let's move right along. I guess now maybe we can go team by team and just talk about the rankings.
Sure.
But next we have SMU at 5.
This is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's a big jump for them.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been slowly climbing up as the season goes on.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anyone predicted them to be this highly ranked, which is fine. I mean, they have played really well.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. It feels a little weird just seeing them there because of just the team. Mm-hmm. But they've earned it. I mean, they've earned their way up, and they've earned their stripes to get towards this high of the ranking. So I can't really fault them. I just will say, in my own head, it just feels a little odd to see them that high.
Yeah, I think the recent losses for them, I mean, I guess they didn't have too many big recent losses, but there are some losses on the schedule for them that make it feel a little weird. I guess preseason, they ended up losing to Kentucky. They lost to Purdue, and then they had 2 games versus Pitt already that they also ended up losing. So I don't know how that skews them in any way, but it's cool to see them this high. But again, maybe you could have them a little bit lower. But I guess in the end, when doing the rankings, 5 through 8 is kind of the next how it should be tier, and I'm fine with them being here.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all.
Yeah,
I think just something to note, and we're gonna keep talking about it because there's a theme here in these teams, but there are injuries that I don't know how to weigh those in these rankings.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to understand them, especially with the different types of injuries. Not knowing when some of these players might come back in.
Yeah, timetables are super weird.
That being said, it's Jaden Livings, right? That's who we're alluding to for SMU.
She did end up getting injured, I think, as this was being released or something like that. So sure, you can't take it into account.
But and then just thinking about it for us, it's interesting knowing that she is their top scorer right now. They do have other players that can step up.
Yeah,
but
Malaya Jones is also sharing that top scorer spot.
It is very interesting to see how that goes moving forward for that team in general.
They could drop.
They could drop, and then who knows? Again, we don't really know when she's going to come back. If she does come back sooner rather than later, they could still be competing and staying around 5.
Yeah, this one also, again, not too mad about it.
Yeah.
But we can talk about the next team now, where I think this is where people might have had it swapped, but we also just saw the direct battle between the two teams.
And to me, I think for both of us, it kind of sways it.
Yeah, you have to give it. Next, we do have Louisville, just to get it out of the way. And then they also directly matched up where SMU won in 5 sets.
Yeah. And that was the Malaya Jones flu game.
It literally was the Malia Jones flu game.
Just quick note, you could see that she was like kind of dying.
Yeah.
But she was putting in work.
Yeah, in that 5th set, she looked like she was going through it, but also like locked in at the same time. So that was kind of hype.
It was crazy too. I mean, that was the game where Jaden Livingston got hurt, and then they were able to finish the game without her, and they still were able to pull that game out. So that was definitely impressive. But Louisville at 6 here, I still feel okay about this. Yeah. Louisville has definitely shown that they're still a very good team. Mm-hmm. You know, you still have really good pins. Nana Escobedo has been setting really well. Mm-hmm. You got Kara Cressy. This is a very well-rounded team.
Yeah. And again, I think it just ends up being like tiers where, you know, this is the tier that plays against those top 4 teams, that 5 through 8, and just having them in this range feels about right. And the specifics of it, like, yeah, you can nitpick a little bit, so it's whatever. So this is not bad.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Feel okay with that.
Yeah, Louisville's right here. They did lose the direct matchup to SMU, so deserved extra bit of climbing from SMU.
Yeah.
But now let's move on to number 7. Number 7, we have ASU, Arizona State. This is one, I'm like middle on it. I'm like, it's like, all right. They have been winning a lot.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to fault them.
Then this is where we kind of get into like conference things.
Yeah.
Where it's how you feel about the conference, the Big 12.
I think people generally know that that is the weakest conference out of the 4, Power 4. But again, it is very close. And to me, I think there's got to be some politics going on here, knowing that, you know, you still want to get Big 12 teams into the top 16 here. And Arizona State has earned it to be at the top there. But there's arguable, like, to me, TCU is right there. But I really can't fault them for having ASU still here at 7, so...
Yeah, I think just going maybe that opinion's a little bit more of an eye test.
Yeah,
it's like weird, but
I'd probably put them lower if it's just eye test. But yeah, I think with the politics and stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's like fine. The way I describe kind of the way that the conferences look is like a lot of the other, basically every other conference kind of looks a little bit more top heavy.
Yeah,
but then the Big 12 kind of has like a higher average of like level of team. Like there's a lot of good teams in the Big 12, so it's like the average level is higher, which I guess when looking at like the RPI, maybe that's why.
Maybe.
But it's really weird. ASU here, again, I'm fine with them being in this tier.
Yeah.
The rankings for ASU are a little bit weird. They do have a bunch of good wins on their record. They beat Penn State, they beat Kansas, they beat Baylor, they beat Colorado, they beat BYU. So they're beating other top teams.
Yeah, fringe towards the bottom of the top 25. Yeah. But they did win these games.
Yeah. So they're all ranked teams. So that's why ASU needs to be up here. I mean, they're looking like the top of their conference. So
yeah, I think where they put ASU here, I think it makes sense considering the way that they did the first 6. I think it still makes sense where they have them.
Yeah, it's just the matchup when they played against Pitt as well. They've lost against Texas.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 big losses for them. So that's when you kind of start comparing them. You're like, dang, like, you know, how good are they? I guess where it's sure you can beat the teams that are in the mid-teens, maybe.
Yeah.
In rankings wise, but when you go against, I guess this is like the number 2 and 3 teams on their thing.
Yeah.
They get 3-0'd, and I'll give them credit. It was like kind of close. I mean, the Pitt one not as much, but versus Texas, reasonably close while having no Noemi Glover.
Yeah.
So you gotta hand it to them there. Obviously, none of that gets taken into account with these because they just look at win-loss pretty much. But yeah, looking a little bit deeper, it's a little weird to work out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna not say too much because I don't really think that Arizona State should be this high.
That's just me hater.
It's not even me trying to hate. I think it's just from when I watch the teams. I don't know if I would put them this high, but I can understand it given the conference being. The conference is pretty competitive, and I think they have to. They're trying to. There's some politics going on here with the conferences having to include certain conferences. So I think they have to put Arizona State somewhat high, considering they are the leader in the Big 12 right now.
It's always weird how you want to rank the conferences, especially when the teams are figuring out a lot early in the season. So some of those early matchups are a little weird.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I'm okay with them being kind of vaguely in this range. I wouldn't have them over Louisville or SMU, but
no,
low like in this, I guess it'd be 7 to maybe 12 range. I'm okay with them again. So it's like fine. I'm okay with people being weird about it, but also like I'm okay with the ranking. But let's move on to the next team. Again, where it gets a little bit weird, we got a Big Ten team here. We got Purdue. So Purdue rounds out our top 8 here. Yeah. They're at 8. They have been looking better, and I would consider them the number 2 team in the Big Ten right now, as of right now, especially going off of eye test pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they've been a really good team, man. Yeah. They've been playing really well together. I think it's just tough to say considering less star power and like the superstar power, having like these go-to hitters sometimes and just stuff like that. Again, respect to Kendall Wood. She's killing it right now. Taylor Anderson, really good setter. Purdue's, as a team, has been playing really well, though. So I was surprised. I will not lie. Being Purdue that high is surprising to me, but definitely respect to them with how they've been playing as a team. So, you know, in this range kind of makes sense, but I didn't know I was going to put them at 8.
Yeah. And here are all the ranked teams, I guess, that they won against.
Yeah.
Tennessee is like in a weird spot where they're moving up and down the rankings a lot, but they beat Tennessee, they've beaten Kansas, they've beaten SMU, they beat UCLA, they beat USC, they beat Indiana. So a lot of big wins for the Purdue team. The one knock on them is they did lose to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Kind of is in the like preseason or pre-conference play.
Yeah.
So sure, but that's a weird loss.
Yeah, it's a random loss.
Yeah, Georgia Tech is on the outskirts of that top 25, so they're not even in the top 25.
Yeah,
so.
I think to be fair though, I think Purdue's definitely improved lately.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I guess does earn them a little bit higher. So can't be too mad in this range for Purdue.
Yeah, they're fine. They're fine here.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the next team. Where we're moving on to that next tier where we've gotten the Elite 8, or what should be the Elite 8, at least according to rankings, out of the way. Now we're moving on to the top 16, the rest of the top 16, where they match up against these teams. And next we have TCU coming in at number 9.
Yeah, I honestly do like TCU. Like the way that they've been playing, I really like them as a team. It is pretty high though.
To
be fair, it is pretty high.
Yeah.
Again, I think this is some of the conference Big 12 type of stuff, but I again still don't really know too much about that. Yeah. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I feel like TCU, we haven't seen too much of them in conference play.
Yeah.
But the pre-conference play, they had some pretty good wins that I think kind of maybe elevated them and elevated the Big 12 just in the eyes of the committee.
Yeah.
Where they beat Penn State, they beat UCLA twice, they beat Texas A&M, they beat Mizzou, and then in conference they've beaten Kansas. So those are some wins that I guess maybe rises them up a little bit.
I don't know. Like you just saying those though, I'm like,
Yeah, I mean
they're the UCLA wins are like,
Yeah. Texas
Mizzou
A&M
wins. The A&M win is good. That one definitely proves something to me that, you know, they are in the top 16 and that's not a question.
Yeah. And they're already here at number 9, so probably pretty deserving, I guess you could say.
Yeah, in this range makes sense.
Yeah. So. They'd have lost to Pitt, Texas, and Baylor.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider when thinking about their own rankings here, but TCU, they're fine.
Yeah, I don't mind the range. To me, as we're getting closer to the parts that irked me, is just the teams that they're ahead of, certain teams that they're ahead of, I didn't agree with.
Yeah.
But the range that they're in, it makes sense.
Yeah, but we can move straight on to the next one. I think this is actually where it gets really, really interesting in terms of how you want to weight conferences.
I mean, to be fair, this is literally the hardest team to rank in like all of the top 25, not just the top 16, honestly.
Yeah. Next, we have Creighton right here.
At number 10.
So this is one where it's super weird. They're going to run the Big East. They're going to dominate the Big East.
They have done that for years now, and it's really difficult going based off of just their schedule. So again, like the RPI, KPI is very difficult here, and then like eye test and, you know, opinion based, it's very difficult because you kind of really have to just weigh heavily on the preseason or like the early season matches.
Yeah.
Which isn't really fair because the team, like Creighton as a whole team is very different. They different coach, a lot of different starters. That part is really odd for them to have to figure that out. Yeah. And then again, I'm certain they're a better team now for Creighton. But again, they're playing in the Big East. You know that Creighton's pretty much been running that for a while now.
Yeah. So it's weird to see how they're ranked.
It's so hard.
I feel like, honestly, you kind of have to, this is like them giving it to them, maybe even like a little bit like historical bias.
Yeah, maybe. And then I guess just knowing that they have dominated their conference that much, maybe that they want to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe you're right. Like the historical thing, maybe that's got to play a part in it. It has to.
It literally has to, because in the pre-conference play, they almost lost every single game. They beat Kansas twice.
Yeah, like how I don't. Again, I'm just genuinely confused on how you rank this team. It's so hard.
Yeah, it's always now where we've had a good amount of conference play.
Yeah.
Where it's really, really hard to rank them, because then you kind of have to rank the conferences or weigh the conferences in certain ways.
Yeah.
And
Big East is very difficult to do that.
Yeah, it feels like, I mean, no other Big East teams, I guess, spoiler, not really, but no other Big East team shows up on this list. No. So, yeah, I guess they're weighing it properly in that sense, but then also Creighton is here at 10.
It's pretty high. For me, personally, it's pretty high. I also just think it's so odd for me. Like, they really do deserve to be in the top 16. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be in here.
Yeah.
Because they're a good team.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's just so hard to dictate where they are in the list here.
Yeah.
And I would say that they're deserving to not be in 16, but I just don't know exactly where, though.
Yeah, it's weird because when we do this, I feel like I like to look at a little bit more recent games, but you also just can't do that.
Creighton, it's impossible.
Yeah, you literally, for this specifically, you cannot do that, because who cares if they're winning all their games in the Big East, because every other team in the top 16 could also win the same exact games.
Yeah, it's hard to be able to sway one team over the other if you just plug them in for Creighton.
Yeah, probably most of the top 25 teams could beat the same teams.
They're probably good.
Yeah, so Creighton, it's a weird place to put them if they want to put them here, especially going off of like historical bias.
Yeah,
sure.
I think it's high, but again, it's very difficult to figure out where to put them.
Yeah, it's literally just, at this point, you just do it off the eye test. So
yeah,
whatever.
And to me, it's weird because of the teams right below them.
Perfect segue onto the next segment, or the next team. We got Stanford here, which is crazy because...
At 11.
Yeah. It's 11, and it's really crazy because in like the ABCA rankings, they've been...
pretty high.
Yeah. I don't know if we've ever seen them drop below 8. Maybe right now they're below 8. But...
Nah, they're higher than 8 right now, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah. They're still at 5 right now in the ABCA rankings. And I don't think they've dropped that much below that, so it just feels crazy to see them all the way down here.
And honestly, this is where I was being quiet about Arizona State, because I definitely am a Stanford advocate. I think I can claim that now. Yeah. I was the one that predicted them to win the ACC anyways, so I think it makes sense that I'm going to do this. But I really thought it was insane to me that Stanford wasn't even in the top 10, let alone top 8. Top 10 was crazy to me that they're not even there.
Yeah.
I think they've earned that. You can see it through their team and how much they've improved from the beginning of the season. I think they have to be in the top 10. And I thought it was really weird that they're at 11 here.
It's a weird thing for Stanford because of the way their schedule's worked out so far.
Yeah,
Generally, they just haven't played too many of their top matches yet. Mm-hmm. So I think that's like, if you want to look at the RPI, maybe that's what's keeping them down a little bit in that sort of ranking.
But they're at 5 though.
Yeah, actually, so what am I saying? I don't even know. I don't know why they're so low.
I mean, hey, I ain't gonna say anything bad about Stanford. So if you're saying that they should be higher, I'm good with that.
I'm like just looking at. I mean, sure, they have lost to 3 of the teams above them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I ain't saying that they should be at like 3 or 4 now. Yeah. But
they can't go that high.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I'm not crazy like that, but 11 to me just did not make any sense. That was the team, honestly, that stood out the most when I saw the rankings.
Yeah. Well, there's also Creighton, but that's just actually,
no. Stanford being this low is insane.
I have other teams that I think just blew my mind of where they were ranked, and they're ranking worse than this.
That's fair. That's fair. But to me, Stanford was crazy.
We'll get to them, but yeah, Stanford going off of this,
11
is weird,
insane.
Especially when I think this also goes back to how you want to rank the conferences between each other, where it's like the ACC, it feels like they should be ranked as the number 1 conference, even though, sure, they don't have the top 2 teams.
Yeah.
But it's a weird place to put them. ACC feels like the top conference.
Yeah.
So it's weird to have them this low when they feel like they're in the strongest conference. Sure, we have a bunch of ACC representation already, which is maybe why they want to be like, okay, we need to put in some of the other conferences in here.
Sure.
We already have, 3 ACC teams ahead of them.
Yeah.
So
I guess.
It's weird, but the ACC is just stacked this season. So what can you say? So, again, weird for Stanford. Feels like they should be a little bit higher. When we get to fixing it, we'll fix it.
Yeah.
But
I still want to put them higher, but that was just me. But 11 to me was insane.
Yeah. But here's another really weird one, which can also drive some good conversation, is at 12 we have Wisconsin. So Wisconsin, it's in a really weird place where Charlie Furbringer's been injured for 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's around 3 weeks now.
Yeah, she's been injured for a couple weeks. So obviously Wisconsin has not been performing as well in the recent term.
Yeah.
But then now you just have to now there's some real projection.
Yeah, it's again getting to SMU of when is she going to come back at all? If she does come back, when is that going to be? Mm-hmm. And then again, also maybe you have to project, how does Addie Horner adjust? Mm-hmm. So far she's doing pretty well, but again, if you put her against some of these really good teams, is she still going to be able to hold up? Is she still going to be able to perform? I hope so, because that'd be awesome. Yeah. But it's hard to say. She's kind of put in a weird spot right now.
Yeah.
And Charlie Furbringer was dishing the rock. She was looking really good.
Yeah, and I think there's just something about the leadership that she had, or the way that she was working with her hitters.
Helped the team for sure.
Yeah, definitely was elevating Wisconsin, where now we're looking at them and we're like, ooh.
Yeah, she definitely knew how to run the offense very, very well.
Yeah.
But again, you have Mimi Collier. I think this team is still very good. I think it's fair to put them a little bit higher. I just don't know how high can you really go with a team like this, understanding the injury and how much that might affect them.
Yeah, I'm very iffy on the Wisconsin, especially because they did just lose to Penn State and USC. And then I guess I'm a little bit also on the negative side on Charlie Furbringer's return for the rest of the year, where as soon as I saw in their their press release about it, they said, oh yeah, it could be a few weeks, it could be months. And as soon as I saw them say months, I'm like, oh, she might just not be back for the rest of the season. And I feel like she's not going to be back for the rest of the season.
I'm thinking that she might be able to make the push for the national tournament. But again, we don't really know. Yeah. We wish that it was more readily available to see these types of things. But again, we're not too sure. I think it's somewhat fair to have them around this ranking. If we were to say that she was healthy, I would say that they definitely could be higher.
Yeah. If it's healthy, they could be higher.
Yeah.
Unhealthy and as they just at least going off of their past few weeks' performance.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It's then I feel like this range, or maybe even a little bit lower,
it could be.
That's fine. Yeah. It's just a weird spot for them with such a recent injury to this list. Yeah. Let's move on to the next team. Another tough one for us, because preseason we projected this team to be so good.
I know, we were Final Four?
Yeah, they're going to make their push, but here we are. We're at number 13. We have Texas A&M.
Yeah, they've definitely fallen from where they were at before.
Yeah.
It is still undeniable, though, and why they make this list is that they are still a very good team.
Yeah.
They're a very well-rounded team. Mm-hmm. I think, again, the question was always, how does the left sides look? Will they be able to balance out the offense enough? Mm-hmm. You know Logan Lennick is going to be really solid. Is the passing going to be able to hold up? To be able to set their middles that are very competent? I think that's just where the questions lie. But I think it's fair to where Texas A&M has been ranked around this range.
Yeah, I mean, they've had some good wins. They've had some not great losses. But it's tough. They did lose to Kentucky, so obviously they'd have to be below that. The SEC is another hard conference to kind of judge this, where it feels like they're really, really top-heavy. Yeah. So, and then specifically going to A&M here, it's they're on that kind of fringe, being at the top of the conference, but also definitely a step below the top of the conference. Yeah. It's a weird spot for them to be. Plugging them in kind of anywhere is sure.
Yeah, and again, it could be something that has to do with the Power Four conference, like the politics of it.
Yeah.
Knowing that there's 2 teams that are in that top 4, like how low do they have to be? Because it is interesting, like when we look at the regular AVCA, like top 25 rankings.
Yeah.
A&M has been at like 9 or 10, I swear, for the whole season.
Yeah.
They've been around that range the whole season.
They are still at 9 this past week.
Yeah, so... Again, even eye test wise, I do have a hard time figuring out where I would want to put them.
Because they're very, like, it feels very inconsistent from them.
Yeah, and I think that's a theme about, honestly, most of these teams is the inconsistency in their play. I think just the top teams have been able to be more consistent, and then that's why they're higher. And I think A&M is probably one of those teams that has kind of fallen victim to that.
Yeah. A&M, I feel like they're one of those teams where they always string me on a little bit, where every time I see them have a really, really good game or, like, even a good set, I'm like... We're so back. It's time to climb up the rankings, baby. And then they have a bad game or a bad set, and I'm like, just don't talk to me. But yeah, A&M, it's like kind of fine to plug them in wherever. Like I don't mind it.
I think this is kind of fair for their spot.
At least vaguely in this range, especially given like you could get a different A&M team on any given night.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's move on to another one where we found this a little bit more controversial as well, and it kind of makes us question again how everything gets ranked.
Honestly, before you even go, I think these last 3 are very controversial. But let's go to the first one.
Probably our most controversial picks in the entire list. At 14, we have Indiana.
Again, we're not trying to be Indiana haters because they have been balling out lately. They have been doing really well. But I just was very surprised to see them all the way here in top 16. I think they can make top 25. I think that's for sure. Mm-hmm. But top 16, I thought that was very interesting to me.
Again, I guess I'm like, it's different, say, like with the men's tournament where you're like, okay, like, you know, it's the top seed or from each conference and then off of like certain record or whatever, or rankings like that. Then they'll use the AVCA rankings. Yeah. But it's just really weird how like random this feels where they don't use the AVCA rankings. Yeah. And like they do it off of like strength of schedule, but the strength of schedule is really conference dependent and it feels really weird.
I mean, let's call it how it is. I think they definitely skewed the Big Ten here. You already said it earlier, but you can see it in the bottom of these top 16 rankings. The Big Ten was definitely skewed to put a lot of teams in here.
Yeah, it feels like they're just adding teams in for the historics of it. Let's just name the rest of the teams because we're already here. 15 was Penn State, 16 was Minnesota. So all Big Ten teams here. Yeah. And I don't particularly like it.
No, and again, I'm going to sound like a hater, I guess. Yeah. I don't think Minnesota, given the injuries that they've had this season, I don't even think they're in the top 25.
Just let them go.
I don't even think it's really right to keep them this high anymore just because of the injuries that they've had to deal with.
Yeah, it's not even like because of the any individual player doing
No, because they've been doing what they can. It's just the cards that they've been dealt now with the injuries, it's just how it is. Yeah. Me, honestly, I thought Penn State is very tough to put in top 16. I think they're like around there because of recent things that they've done. Yeah. I think they've been able to kind of turn the ship around, but like it's still very early in that. So if they continue to do that, I feel more confident. Yeah. But I think to me, it's top 16, and then for sure they're still in the top 25. But it's close. It's close for Penn State.
Well, Penn State, I'm like fine with if you were to give like kind of like grace to any of the teams, any of the Big Ten teams here, to add back into this top 16. I'd be like, let's just keep Penn State because like, you know,
I guess
they are also the national champions, the reigning national champions from last year.
Let's be real. Yeah, it'd be kind of lame if they weren't in the top 16 at all.
So it's like you can give them that grace, and especially because they have like a couple of good wins. And honestly, their record looks bad, but
it does.
At least they have played a lot of the top teams, which is why the record is bad. So at least they're not losing those kind of more unranked teams.
I mean, they do have some bad losses, but
not even like that bad. Okay, I mean, like say like they lost to Nebraska, they got absolutely decimated. Yeah, but in terms of like who they're losing to, it's not like the worst.
Sure, yeah, I guess.
Like Washington, that they just lost that game, was pretty bad.
That was bad. Yeah. that was kind of the one that I was getting at.
Yeah, UCLA, you probably should win that.
Yeah, that's not great either.
Yeah, but everything else, teams that are all ranked above them in this list.
Yeah, I guess.
So it's like fine, And then you could kind of say the same thing for Indiana, where they've lost some games. Like, they lost pre-conference. They lost to Western Kentucky. Like,
also very random.
They lost to Michigan State, which Michigan State's like solid.
They've been able to rattle off some wins.
Yeah,
on some of these Big Ten teams.
Within the Big Ten, I actually think that they're like a pretty like solid team.
Yeah.
But again, it feels like Big Ten bias to have this many teams in the Big Ten in here.
But importantly, like even to that, like Michigan State is not sniffing the top 25 even. And I think with the Michigan State loss, that's not in the top 25. I don't know if you can really put them in the top 16 here.
Yeah, and it's fine. They look good. They could, like, especially on a good week, they could break that top 25. Maybe if they happen to get a good upset, which I guess would have been this Indiana team.
Yeah.
But, if they get some more upsets in the Big Ten, they could put themselves in that top 25. It's just a weird spot for them.
Yeah, I mean, also in the regular top 25 rankings, they have Indiana at 23, so...
Yeah.
For me to see Indiana at 14 here is pretty insane.
Kind of, what are we doing?
It's pretty insane.
Yeah. So then that's 14, 15, Penn State. We already kind of talked about Penn State, where it's like, just give them, like, if you were to give a little bit of bias to anyone, sure, here.
I guess.
And then also they have Kennedy Martin performing like one of the best players in NCAA right now.
Yeah.
So, like, give it to them. He's being a Penn State hater for no reason.
It's not no reason. Come on.
No, but looking at who they've played, they have their losses are to top teams.
Yeah.
They lose a lot, which a lot of other teams, sure, they haven't lost as much, but they're losing to top teams.
I think it's just from what I've seen that make me like
they don't look
very worried.
But when you look at all of the teams in this like kind of range, none of them look particularly good. When we're looking at teams that look good, we're at the top 2 and then maybe the top 4.
Yeah. I mean, no, like to me, I'm thinking like they're like just outside of top 16 to me. They're like 18 or something like that. But again, to me those like these last 3 spots, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
To me there's like 6 teams that maybe compete for those last 3. Yeah. And then I think they're in that bunch. And then again, Kennedy Martin has been looking really good. Mm. And then it's the hope of can they get it together against some of the other teams that would boost them up. And then they're definitely in the top 16. But I don't mind it that they're here. I think, again, it's to be fair, right? National championships, like national champions, it'd be kind of weird if they're not in here. It just feels kind of wrong.
Even though they did lose.
They did lose a lot.
A lot.
But, like, they got stuff back, or they got some stuff back. Yeah. And then, again, like, they have been playing pretty decent. Like you're saying, like, some of the teams that they've been playing against, it's really tough competition compared to a lot of these other teams. They have had a tough schedule. Yeah. I think that's probably where, like, RPI helps them out.
Yeah, even though it's losses, but...
Yeah, but if we're being real, like you're saying, the schedule is really tough for them.
Yeah.
For what they've played already. So, that can definitely weigh it.
Yeah, it's really weird, but let's just briefly... I mean, we already talked about Minnesota a little bit at 16, but they just shouldn't be here.
Yeah, to me, if there's a team that should not be here, it's definitely Minnesota. Yeah. And again, it has nothing to do with how they've been playing.
They were not part of our choices to even be in this top 16, like this bottom end. Like, just why are they here?
And again, like it really just has to do with injuries. I think it's just not fair for them to even like to put that expectation on them to be around here.
Yeah.
It's just not really working for me. They just shouldn't be here.
Yeah. So now let's just talk about the list overall before we get into re-ranking it ourselves.
Yeah.
Overall, the list, it's fine. I mean, there's definitely some biases you can tell in here.
Yeah.
And I mean, sure, we're also biased. I mean, we're human.
For sure we are.
Yeah, so maybe we're like a little bit more Big Ten haters than whoever the committee is, but
yeah, I guess
it's a lot of Big Ten when it doesn't feel valid.
Yeah, I think to me overall, looking at the list, I didn't mind top 8.
Top end is fine.
I think top 8 is okay. Top 4 is like, again, that's like honestly, top 8 it's okay. Like I understand where they put it at. I can understand some arguments if they were to make them.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. Yeah. It's like the last 8 is where I get confused.
Yeah. Especially like it got really rankings, weird. Who they included.
Yeah, it got really weird.
Yeah.
But top 8, I'm okay with it. Bottom 8, it felt really weird.
Yeah. It's weird, but in the end, this means nothing.
No, because for sure.
Yeah. It's just a whatever that they just want to put out to drive this conversation, to give us an episode to do.
Yeah, I think it's fun to talk about it. kind of think about it ourselves. I think it drives more conversation to think about what the rankings really should be.
Yeah, but it does bring into question how this will be when it actually comes time to do the seeding.
For sure, yeah.
Where hopefully it's not like this, because it'd be a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, what teams are going to still be in it? What
Yeah.
teams fall out? I think there's a lot of things that can still move around. There's still a good amount of time left.
Yeah, and how they're going to rank, especially the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Once that becomes like ancient history, basically.
Yeah.
Every team is basically different.
Yeah, every team's going to play way different.
Yeah, so it's going to be weird, but now let's move on into our own rankings of the top 16 and what we think they should be and how they should be seeded.
Yes. I think just quickly breaking down how we decided to do it, I think we both came with our own conclusions separately as well.
Yeah.
I think just figuring out what we would have made our own personal top 16s, and then we talked about it, we hashed it out, we had to argue some of these certain teams, argue positions, but looking at it now, I feel pretty happy with our list. I think it makes a lot of sense.
I think it's perfectly fine, and we can rattle off the top of it because I think
it's pretty fair.
A lot of it has already been mentioned as we were talking about the teams and how we already thought basically top 8 was like fine.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
Yeah. So number 1, we had Nebraska. Number 2, we had Texas, kept the same. 3, 4, we swapped Pitt and Kentucky. So
I think again, eye test proved for us that Kentucky looks like the better team.
Yeah. So then we have at 3 Kentucky, 4 Pitt, 5, 6 we kept the same. It's SMU then Louisville. Literally the direct matchup that just happened.
Made it.
You literally cannot argue that.
Especially when we're going based off of like current rankings. We're not projecting what's going to happen. We're looking at what it looks like right now. SMU has to have that over Louisville.
Number 7, we have ASU here, stayed the same. I mean, it's like fine. Like we need to keep some sort of Big 12.
Yeah. I mean, I was the one that pushed back on it, let's be real.
Yeah.
But I think it still makes sense where they're at. I think for what they've been given and the teams that they have had to play against in their schedule, they've done what they needed to do. So I think it's okay to still give them some I don't know how you want to put it, some positive notes here. And
giving them their like flowers, giving them credit for what they're doing because, they're playing the teams in front of them and they're doing well.
Yeah.
So it'd also be weird obviously we don't know the end of the conference yet. We don't know how it's going to end up.
Yeah.
But say they're like a conference leader right now.
Yeah.
If they end up winning the conference and they're not in like even in the top 8, it feels really weird.
Yeah, and I think some of that has to do less with how they played. I think again you have to weigh that. I think we definitely weigh that ourselves. But again, like you're saying, I think some of the conference stuff has to play into it.
Yeah, I mean that's why they're not in the top. That's why they're not in the top 4 basically. Like if you want to do everyone needs like one in the top 4, every conference needs one in the top 4. You could do that, but weird to do that, especially when the conferences are not equal.
Yeah.
But now let's just move on from that because they end up saying the same. We're just talking about it. But now we got a big movement here. We got Stanford at our number 8.
Yeah, I think they had to be in that top 8. Top 10 for sure. Again, it felt really weird that they weren't there. I think 8 feels pretty good for them. I think it feels pretty solid. I think if we're going based off team, I would put them again a little bit higher, but not that much. Just understanding again, like the certain matchups that they've already played, but going based on the team, they could be higher. But I think 8 here makes a good amount of sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only swap you could make would just be them over ASU. I don't think they could go much higher than that.
Yeah, and honestly, if it was my own list, I would put them a little bit higher. Just if I was looking like, would I want this team over them? I'd pick Stanford. But again, I think this still feels good.
Yeah, I think right here for Stanford, it kind of just is where we're really giving them their credit because it feels like they should have been higher, at least higher than where they were.
Yeah.
I still like Stanford as a team. I'm a fan of them, but I'm just a little bit more skeptical of how high we can rank them.
Yeah, I mean to be fair, like we still haven't seen them play a lot of these other teams. I think that's when we have a better picture of how the ACC turns out, and then where they would rank against these other top teams.
Yeah, I mean I think that's the only way you could push them up anymore. But right now, 8 feels like a pretty good spot for them.
Yeah, there's still questions to me.
Yeah. Then at 9, this is where we have Purdue.
I think you have to give them flowers here.
Yeah, we literally just pushed down Purdue 1 spot.
Yeah.
To make room for Stanford. So still giving them their credit here.
Yeah, I think it still makes sense. They still have to be this high. They've gotten really solid wins, and they've showed out for sure.
Is that second best team to us in the Big Ten right now?
I think it has to be.
Yeah, especially considering these injuries, which, well... Yeah, we'll talk about that
With the movement of the Big Ten, I think Purdue has proven that they're now the second best team.
Yeah. And again, keeping up with the teams having to get pushed down because of Stanford. At number 10, we have TCU. So again, really good team. They're playing pretty well.
Yeah.
They're also in that Big 12 conference where it's like, they're playing against like good teams, but maybe not like the best of the best teams.
Yeah. They're like lower ranked in the top 25. But again, to their credit, they have beaten those teams.
Yeah. It's also kind of vaguely matches up their AVCA rankings. Where around 10.
Yeah, and honestly, they've kind of been around there this whole season as well.
Yeah.
And again, I really like watching them. I think as a team, like eye test wise, I think this is very deserving where they're at.
Well coached team.
Very well coached by Jason Williams, and then just love the systems that they have in place. The players that they got is looking good. So I think 10 still fits here for TCU.
Then at 11 here, we have given them, I guess you could call it a bump.
Yeah, we bumped them on one.
Yeah, but we have Wisconsin at 11. So I did give them a little bit more crap. I gave Wisconsin a little bit more crap just because of the injuries, and I'm pretty negative on the Charlie Furbinger injury. Yeah. So it's like slight projection, but also it's projection based on how they looked in the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm weighing the 3 weeks more heavily because it's like that's the team I think we're going to be seeing moving forward.
Yeah.
So I'm not as confident in them, but they're also like they're still pretty good.
Honestly, they've still been playing pretty well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I've been able to keep them here. And I might have vied for them to be at 10, maybe. But it's like around this area. I think, again, it's Mimi Collar's been really good. And then before she went out, Charlie Furbinger was running a really good offense. I think he was looking really, really competent with, the other outsides that they've been able to work with without Grace Egan. And then the middles are still very physical and they've been looking pretty good. So still a pretty good, solid team overall.
Yeah.
I think 11 is still solid. Without Charlie Furbinger, there's a lot of questions, so you don't really know.
Yeah. To me, I'd be like, oh, they can go lower, but that's also projection, and, you're not really supposed to project.
Yeah, and it's hard to be honest, it is hard to argue for them to be any higher, again, not knowing if Charlie Furbinger is coming back.
Yeah, because they did look pretty good with her.
For sure, yeah. But, they would definitely be higher if she was still playing.
Yeah, but let's move on to number 12 here. This is where we have Texas A&M.
One spot higher again.
Yeah, just, okay. Yeah, they moved up a little bit. Again, we talked about it earlier. We're going to keep them in the same range where it's like they're really on again, off again team where they can look really good, then they can look really bad.
Yeah.
So this feels about right, giving credit and also credit to the conference.
Yeah.
I guess I could be like, if I was to continue projecting, sure, I could have them above Wisconsin, maybe TCU, but not really.
I honestly don't even know. That's an interesting conversation of TCU or A&M.
Yeah.
Who I would want in that matchup. I still might lean TCU. It's very hard to say though.
Yeah. So it's a weird spot for A&M to be in right now. But at number 13, we have Creighton here.
Yeah. Let's be real. I think
this is a drop for us.
Why they've fallen.
Yeah.
From where they were at. I think a lot of it has to be, honestly, would you rather have this team or this team, and who you think would win that matchup? And I think we both were able to come to the conclusion that, TCU was above them in the regular 16 ranking, but Wisconsin, A&M, those are both teams that we would still want over Creighton here. I think that's why the ranking has kind of shifted around this way.
And, we just don't want to... Sure. Yes, they obviously deserve credit. They're playing very well.
Yeah.
But in terms of conference play,
it's how
much credit we want to give them is lower than, I guess, what they gave them.
Yeah, and I think what's telling why they're in this spot at 13 is that they're honestly arguable to be in the lower 3 as well, just not knowing what they play against some of the tougher competition.
Yeah.
But I think the separation is that they have been able to win the games that they should have. So I think you kind of have to give them that.
Yeah.
So I think 13 kind of falls perfectly for us.
Technically, they have no bad losses.
No.
For this ranking.
Yeah.
No bad losses.
Yeah.
So here it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll keep Creighton here.
Definitely the biggest question mark in the list.
Yeah. But this part of the list is where we have to add teams now.
It gets spicy.
Yeah. So I think, like we mentioned earlier, we would have dropped Indiana. We would have dropped Minnesota. Penn State was a very, very iffy team for us. But we fixed it up to our own opinion. So at number 14, we have Kansas.
Yeah, I feel good about this. Again, another team that is looking really good. They've got a pretty diverse team. It's pretty balanced. And again, it's tough to say with the Big 12 stuff.
Yeah.
How they've been able to play. Mm-hmm. But I think they've looked really good. They've had some pretty tough matches, and they've still been able to win some of these games.
I generally want to give the Big 12 at least maybe the top end, especially if you're counting like RPI or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to give them a little bit more credit than say the Big 10.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like this year at least it feels like they're a little bit more deserving, even though the Big 10 has the better top teams. Team. They have the better top team, and then
let's be real.
teams if you want to say Purdue.
Yeah.
But even then, it's iffy.
Yeah, and then again, Wisconsin, if they didn't have the injury. Minnesota, if they didn't have the injuries.
They didn't have all their injuries.
So,
God damn.
Again, it's hard to say with the Big 10 right now.
Yeah.
But Big 12, like you're saying, it is very competitive. And Kansas, we wanted to give them a little bit of recognition. I think it's fair to put them here at 14.
Yeah, I like both their setters. Reese Patek's also great.
Yeah.
So.
Jovana Zelivanovic,
yeah.
She's really good on the right side. Mm-hmm. She's been doing really well.
Yeah, so all credits to Kansas here. Number 15, this one's pretty funny, where after all the talk we had about Big Ten, the talk we had about Penn State, we kept them in at number 15.
Yeah, I mean, I was the one that gave pushback on it, but again, like we were saying earlier, I think it's honestly fair that they are still here.
Yeah.
Because, it's kind of funny. We did have to talk about, like, okay, which team would you rather want? And we'll get to the teams that we have outside looking in on the top 16. Mm-hmm. But I was like, oh, you know what? I would prefer Penn State over these other teams. I think I ended up going that way.
Yeah.
So to me, 15 still makes some sense here.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird where I feel like at this range is where it contains a lot of teams where we're like, they don't feel that good.
Yeah.
But then a lot of the teams in this range are kind of like that. So then you compare them to other teams that, you could have put in.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, maybe not.
Yeah. And then again, you have to take into consideration like who they've played so far.
Yeah.
Because that's just what this ranking is. Mm-hmm. Versus purely based off what does this team look like right now. Because again, it's hard to say that when, Penn State is playing tougher competition than these other teams. So again, I think Penn State being at 15 here is still okay.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's like you want to keep them in, give some Big Ten credit. It would be weird. This is only the fourth team that we have in this top 16, by the way, from the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So it'd be weird to not give them that level of credit, even though we're not of the opinion that they're great this year.
Definitely not.
Going off of historics, I feel like that's how a lot of things go. Normally, it's you want to give historic, even last year, credit to conferences when it comes to things. So it'd be weird to punish them so hard, kind of just off an eye test thing. Okay, it's a little bit more than an eye test thing, but punish them so hard for feeling like it fell off.
Yeah. It's difficult to place this team for sure.
Yeah.
Again, because they are improving as of late. They did get that win over Wisconsin. I think that shows something.
Yeah. The loss to Washington.
Yeah, that also is tough.
Yeah. So at least it won 5 sets.
True. It didn't look good. It did not look good, but again, it went 5.
To be fair, the Washington defense was playing out of their minds defending Kennedy Martin that game.
Yeah, low key.
Oh my God.
If we're gonna give a random team some shout out, Washington has kind of been balling. Again, the record doesn't show, and if you're not a fan of the Big Ten, you probably do not care about Washington at all. Yeah. But they did play pretty decent against Penn State. They looked pretty good.
Kennedy Martin was just full swing at the ball, and they just kept putting it. They just kept digging it, and I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, they kind of locked her up.
Yeah, I was like, "No other team does this," but all right. So yeah, that's a tough loss for them. So we're just giving them barely the credit to stay in.
Yeah.
Then for the very last team that we're including here, we have Tennessee in at number 16, and Tennessee looks pretty freaking good.
Yeah, this is another weird team though. Not knowing with the conference that they play in, how heavy you can weigh that for their wins. But they have taken care of the games that they should have. So it's hard to blame them to not put them in this list. And again, I think it's kind of like, who would you rather have? And to me, Tennessee, I'm definitely taking them over Minnesota. I think Indiana is maybe a conversation.
Yeah, Indiana is still in that range for us to get the spot.
But Tennessee, I want to give them the nod here. I think they've been looking really, really good so far.
Yeah, and I think going off of this year with how strong the SEC has looked, especially on the top end, it's fine to give them the credit, give them one more team in here. I prefer that over giving the Big Ten another team.
Yeah.
So even though Big Ten, they do have the best team, kind of.
But again,
top 2 team in the nation.
But again, this is, to me, what swayed it is some of the eye tests. I think Tennessee has been playing really good ball.
Yeah.
And I think the only other team that was highly questionable was Indiana. I think Miami is also a conversation, but I think with Tennessee, what they've been able to do with their matches, I think it's deserving.
Yeah, and then I guess now we can just move on to other teams that we considered.
Yeah.
Miami was one of them.
For sure. Miami was definitely one of them. Indiana was still there.
Yeah. Miami, they're just...
The loss to Cal, man, that really threw me off.
It's really weird. I feel like they're very on and off, where sometimes they can pop off. Like, I mean, the Pitt duel, that was crazy.
Yeah, I think that boosted them up for sure.
Yeah.
But again, that might have boosted them higher than what maybe they deserve as a whole team, and that performance might have swayed it too high, if that's how we want to think about it. And again, like, you can't fault them, but when you look at it, like a Pitt and a Penn State, they play the same type of ball. They're going to get it to their one best player, and then everyone else try and figure it out. But I think Penn State gets a slight nod. Maybe it's like kind of conversational. Pitt, yes, they lost that direct matchup, but I think we can say that Pitt is definitely a better team.
Yeah.
So Miami was definitely in the conversation there still.
They're like also right outside, so it's like,
yeah,
sure, this last spots you could kind of interchange, but I just prefer the Tennessee team, especially with, like, I don't know, when you're going into this top 16 and how it would break up in terms of rankings and how the teams would play against each other.
Yeah,
I would feel more confident in Tennessee being able to guaranteeing themselves to put up a better match, where it's like,
it's fair.
Miami, it's like we could see like a banger game, or we could see an absolute stomp, especially if this is a team that has to match up against Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if Formery Heredia clone doesn't go off and get 30 plus points.
Yeah, we're about to see them get.
It's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
And then where Tennessee, it's more well balanced, and I think what they've got going there is pretty good. But again, Miami is that one of those fringe teams for us.
Yeah, so it's very, very iffy. I mean, in the end, you guys tell us what you guys think about these top rankings and who you guys would have included and how you guys would have had the rankings, because we know we also have our own personal biases towards these.
Yeah.
We want to see your guys' rankings, which teams you guys think were way underrated, like us and Stanford.
Yeah.
Or way overrated teams like us and Indiana, I guess.
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota for sure. Honestly, if anyone in the comments can tell us why they have Minnesota or why they want to put Minnesota in this top 16, please.
Minnesota fans?
Explain the logic to us, because we do not see it.
Minnesota fans, calling you out.
But that'll wrap it up in terms of the top 16 discussion. I think that's the last thing that they're going to announce before they really do the top 16 for the...
Yeah, because it's definitely going to change.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know how much it will change, but it's not going to be exactly this.
I mean, we still have over a month of conference volleyball left.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff moving around, so this is definitely not concrete.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a fun conversation.
Yeah.
Going based off how good these teams look, and then again, it's a lot of question marks because you don't know, because they haven't all played each other, and there's a lot of these games that are in weight. Being able to see these other top teams play each other, that could very heavily affect how you would want to rank these.
Yeah. I mean, teams always have the opportunity to show out, so...
Yeah, I think the ACC matchups, those are going to be very important. I think that could definitely make some shockwaves in this top 16.
Yeah. And then another thing, just to wrap it up, I do see, the Nebraska Texas debate still going on. It is the toughest one. This is part of why we're saying Big Ten Conference doesn't look that great.
It's one team.
Yeah. So we have Nebraska up there, Texas up there. We'll see how they end up getting ranked by the end of the season.
Yeah.
We'll see how they account for things, because right now eye test vibes feel like a big thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes, but let's wrap it up now and let's move on to the Rally Round. Welcome to the Rally Round, where we play our drafts, blind rankings, and other fun games. This week, we got another draft. We're continuing down the classes where we've done seniors, we've done juniors, now we're on to sophomores, so...
Yes.
We got another fun draft ahead of us. Let's draft NCAA volleyball teams only using sophomores. I got first pick here. We're going no injuries, no circumstances.
I like how you had to preface it for your first pick.
Yeah, I gotta say that just so I can take Izzy Stark with my first pick as my setter.
Fair enough. I would have done it too.
Yeah, I mean, it's the National Freshman of the Year and one of the best, if not the best setter in the nation that
just not playing.
There's now just one big what if. There's like interesting ways you could go about it.
Very interesting ways I could go about this. So for my first and second pick here, I'm going to take my outsides. I'm going to take Evan Hendricks from TCU, and I'm going to get Jaden Livings from SMU. They've both been killing it on, being able to be highlighted now. I definitely like how they're playing. I feel good about my pins.
Oh, we're cooked, gang. Those are definitely two of the best outsides in the class.
And they're arguably like some of the underrated outsides right now.
Yeah, and it helps a lot where we were going through the classes and not a lot of 6 rotation outsides in this class. So, yeah. That sucks.
You have Izzy Stark though. That's pretty nice.
I do have Izzy Stark.
That's pretty nice.
Maybe we can make up for some of that not great passing. Hopefully. But, oh boy. How do I want to work this one out? All right, then I have a feeling my outside's going to struggle a little bit more on the passing side. So I got to take a good serve-receive libero here. Give me Olivia Mauk from Nebraska.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah, gotta get that for sure. And then now that I got the libero in, give me a middle here. Let's get Reese Patek, one of my favorite middles.
Yeah, she's killing it.
Yeah.
Love watching her.
Yep, she's so good.
Okay, this makes it tough for me. I think the way I want to go about this, give me Grace Egan on the right side here.
All right, good pick.
Again, she was kind of like a flex position a little bit there at Wisconsin, but I'll take her.
But she's a Penn player for sure.
Yeah, Penn for sure. And then I think a good amount was on the right side. If not, then, well, damn. And then for middle, I'm going to take Favor Anyanwu. She's been really good at SMU. Let me get the SMU connection here.
Actually, that's the USC and SMU connection.
I don't know if they're best friends, but shoot. For me, they're best friends on this team.
Yeah, they got to be friends if they're going to be on this team together too after being on 2 other teams together.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we are. Only pick that matters for me now is my last middle. All right, then for my final middle here, give me Jayla August from Florida. You're doing real good. Then for one of my outsides here, I like her a lot. She was amazing last year in the national tournament. Give me Peyton Peterson from Louisville.
Knew you were going to take her.
Yeah,
I'm a
fan.
All right. Let me lock in my setter and lib here. Let me get Charlie Furbringer. I know she's hurt right now, but she's been killing it at Wisconsin. So
we turned the injuries off in the simulation.
Yeah. And again, give me that Wisconsin connection. Let me get that too.
How is that? I wonder how that Wisconsin relationship is.
And then let me keep it going. Let me get Lola Schumacher
from
UCLA. But she was at Wisconsin last year.
Yeah.
So they definitely still know each other. I feel pretty good knowing that they all played together.
All right, then I got my final 2 picks here. Then for my last outside, this is why I needed some extra help in the receiving department. But let me get Jordan Bird from Florida to match up as my other outside. We got some Florida players out here, Florida representation. I think they're pretty good, if not just a little inconsistent. But then for my right side, let me get Auburn Tompkinson from Illinois. I think she's pretty good. She's really tall too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get some good blocking out there, some
lefty.
good swings. Yeah. I think it's a great team that I got here.
And then for my last middle, let me get Ryla Jones from Pitt.
Ooh, okay.
I know she doesn't get utilized too much here just because of that team, but she's been looking really good. She's hitting super efficient, so
yeah, she's pretty good. She was pretty good last year as well.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's got to be part of it too. That's got to count for something.
The potential's there. You guys have probably better passing than current Pitt.
Yeah.
So
I got to count that for something,
Yeah. But that wraps it up for the draft. You guys let us know who you think won this one, or let us know who you guys think would be like your own personal sophomore class draft, especially if we missed anybody. But now let's move on to the next game where we're going to be comparing 2 players' stats as we've been doing a couple times. But this week, we're keeping it only to setters. So I got setter matchups here. I try to keep them between different conferences and then kind of like around the same level. So this one should be super interesting. Pick the better NCAA setter by only using their stats.
Okay.
Yep. Setters only.
That's going to be hard. It's going to be hard too.
This one's going to be very hard.
To me, it's a lot of visual based off of the feel, what you see on the court. I think that's usually what I can feel better about setters. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
This one will be very interesting. I did add in their team hitting percentage here.
Okay, that's nice.
It's like a little bit skewed, obviously, because other people sometimes have to take the ball.
Yeah.
So no perfect stats for us, but we'll get a rough idea. It started off with the first two setters. So first, player A, they have 1.13 points per set with 0.7 kills per set, 9.89 assists per set, and the team's hitting at 33.2% efficiency. She has 8 service aces, 6 service errors. She has 2.8 digs per set and 0.52 blocks per set. And then for player B, they have 1.68 points per set with 0.75 kills per set, 9.39 assists per set. Her team's hitting at 25% efficiency. She has 47 service aces, 47 service errors, 1.75 digs per set, and 0.54 blocks per set.
That's pretty nice. It's pretty tough too. Mm-hmm. Like to me, I definitely feel that that player B has a better serve.
Yeah. It's just it's riskier.
Yeah, given the aces, but again, there's the errors. But I think overall, you can tell that they probably had the better serve here.
Yeah.
But the hitting percentage for the team is definitely swaying it to me.
Yeah.
They're still getting a little bit better defense, probably from the digs, I would say. Mm-hmm. So I'll go player A here.
You picked player A here, and that means you're picking Bergen Riley from Nebraska over Ariana Rodriguez from Miami. So surprisingly close here. Yeah. A lot of people don't consider them quite on the same caliber, but I just wanted to show off how close their stats look.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is definitely one where it's tough based on the feel or not being able to see who the setter is.
Yeah.
So this is definitely tough, but that's pretty crazy. It is kind of close.
All right, then let's move on to round 2. So round 2 here for player A, we have 1.02 points per set, 0.34 kills per set, 11.17 assists per set. Her team's hitting at 28.8% efficiency. She has 16 service aces, 17 serve errors. She has 2.24 digs per set and 0.82 blocks per set. And then for player B, she has 1.11 points per set with 0.44 kills per set, 9.70 assists per set. Her team's hitting at 27.5% efficiency. She has 17 service aces, 24 service errors. She has 1.74 digs per set and 0.7 blocks per set.
Again, pretty close here. Yep. For me, I'm gonna go with player A here. I feel good with the 2 extra assists you kind of get there, 1.5.
Yeah.
Slightly better team hitting percentage. The service aces to errors is a little bit better. A little bit more digs and a little bit more blocks. I think slightly edged to player A.
All right, and that makes sense here because you've picked Avery Carlson from SMU.
Like Avery Carlson.
Over Cassie O'Brien from Kentucky. So,
ooh, that's tough.
Yeah, I wanted to match up 2 of the top teams here.
Yeah, 2 really good setters with like 2 pretty balanced offenses there, and that's pretty nice.
And we got like a senior versus a freshman.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, not bad at all.
I'm waiting for one, I can just tell that it's her. There's one player that's like, if she's on here, you can tell that it's her.
Now for round 3. Player A, they have 1.26 points per set, 0.85 kills per set with 10.56 assists per set. Her team's hitting at 28.7% efficiency. She has 8 service aces, 13 service errors, 2.15 digs per set, and 0.53 blocks per set. For player B, she has 1.43 points per set, 0.72 kills per set with 10.17 assists per set. Her team's hitting at 27% efficiency. She has 17 service aces, 14 service errors, 2.2 digs per set, and 0.8 blocks per set.
For me, I think I'm going to go player B here. I think slightly better. I think to me, it's the serving that sways me. You know, it's positive serving here from ace to error ratio. The digs is like a tiny bit better, and the blocks is a tiny bit better. And then to me, the other 2 of like her own kills, team hitting percentage, and the assists, it's pretty much the same. So I'll take the serving and the extra defense.
Okay. That means you're picking Nayelis Cabello from Louisville over Taylor Anderson from Purdue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this is one probably, again, very, very close.
Yeah.
2 very good players here. So you guys let us know who you guys would have picked in these comparisons. We got a lot of good setters out here.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy. Low-key, I thought that Nayelis Cabello was going to be standing out more because of the kills.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be higher. But it's funny enough that Taylor Anderson has more than Nayelis Cabello does.
Nayelis Cabello's maybe she tried to focus a little bit more establishing the rest of the team earlier in the season.
Maybe, because she's getting real aggressive lately.
Yeah, making sure that's scouting, and building that connection early on in the season. You know how it has to go. And then now she's like, I'm feeling myself. Because that last game versus SMU,
whew. Yeah, 9 kills. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. But that does it for our stat comparisons. And now we're going to move on to our final game. We have a blind ranking.
Yes, the blind ranking is back. It's still coming. But we're going to go back to positional stuff. So I'm going to, now that we're mid-season at this point, we're going to do outsides this time.
Oof. A lot of good outsides in NCAA right now.
Yeah, a lot of really good outsides. Yeah. This is going to be tough. Blind rank these NCAA outsides. First up, we got Tori Stafford.
Wow. Tori Stafford is... Wow. This sucks. I mean, it's 1 or 2.
Okay.
I mean, I think she's like the perfect combination of everything you want in outside. NCAA, I'll just put her at 1. I think one is fine. I'll use my 1 spot.
Tori Stafford at 1. Let's go.
I mean, her team is ranked number 2, and it's very much thanks to her.
True. Next up, we got Mimi Collier.
Mimi Collier. Oh my God, I'm so biased, but I know there's going to be other good players here.
There's a lot of good outsides.
No.
And I'll let you know, I picked them, so it's going to be tough.
Yeah, this sucks. Okay, so Mimi Collier is probably just as good as anyone else offensively, so that's big for her. It's just more on the defensive end where I have a couple more questions, so I'll put her at 4.
Okay, at 4.
Yeah.
Next up, you got one part of the Kentucky duo. You got Brooklyn DeLay.
Ooh, okay. Brooklyn DeLay, honestly, it's another thing where you got some defense, but not as great as the offensive output. And then, this is tough. I mean, do I want to... I'm going to put her at 3, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I like 3. I think it's, again, similar to Mimi Collier, where the offensive side is absolutely elite. It's just, again, the defensive, both blocking, like serve, receive, and then like just regular defense is a little bit weaker.
Okay. Next up, we got the other part of that duo. We got Eva Hudson.
Well, sucks.
You got 2 and 5 left.
Yeah. We could gamble here.
Okay.
Because I have a feeling there's another outside that could be on this list.
Okay.
That I might want to not put aside.
Okay. Don't let that sway you. You got your own opinion. That's okay.
But a little bit like Eva Hudson, also very good offensively. Probably similar level. I think I just messed up the list, honestly.
That's okay. It happens.
My 3-4 probably should have been shifted down, but I'll put Eva Hudson at 5 here.
It's to try and keep the rest of the list correct, I guess.
Yeah, and also I think like Brooklyn DeLay is like the stronger offensive attacker. So she's just a stronger offensive attacker, so I'll just move that around that. So,
hey, it's all right. Call it how it is. You're trying to just keep the same face here.
Yeah.
and keep it right without messing it up crazy.
Yeah.
That means that your number 2 spot is Harper Murray.
All right, not bad. I mean, probably the best defender on this list by far.
Yeah, hands down.
So, and the offense is somewhat coming around. Just maybe she doesn't have to carry the offensive load for her team in the same way that other players do. But when I docked a lot of the other players for their defense, and Harper Murray is the best defensive player on this list.
Yeah, I mean, hey, as an outside, you got to do everything.
Yeah.
Defense is a huge part of that, and she's the prime defender on the outside spot that you want.
Yeah, so I'm okay with this list. It ended up not bad. I mean, I probably would have adjusted some things tiny bit, but I'm going to let my biases shine through, and I'm okay with Mimi Collier being at number 4 here. Yeah. If I want to be a little more biased, I could have put her at number 3. But not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, Harper Murray's definitely got some good numbers. And it's kind of hard to say because she's on such a good team.
Yeah, it's so balanced for that team anyways, so it's like...
But she's getting... It's like 3.7 kills per set. She's hitting on 322. That's really good efficiency, so... Yeah. Definitely hard to say. She's playing great ball on the best team in the nation, arguably, I guess. So
we got the top 2 teams at number 1 and 2 here with the best 2 outsides, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I put Texas at 1.
Does that mean Texas is at 1 as a team?
Oh boy. But that will do it for this episode. Done with the games today. But thanks again so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you made it this far. In the comments, again, just let us know what you think about this top 16, our top 16, and who you would have put in the top 16. Any underrated teams teams that need to be included that maybe didn't get included, and we didn't include them either.
Yeah, if you guys want to do a top 16 yourselves, I'd be curious to see it.
Yeah.
I definitely want to see that more than you just vying for your own team, because at least then it shows that you have to look at it holistically around the nation.
Yeah,
I think that definitely would be really interesting if people did that.
I think, especially if you have any changes to that top 8, I'd love to know what you guys did.
Yeah,
like how you guys moved it around.
Very curious.
Because the bottom 8 of the 16, I can understand most of the time, like the decisions and whatever. But that top 8, if you want to move anything around, really, really let us know. I'm super curious about this one.
Yeah.
But, yep. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.